బహుమానపేట కేరళ గవర్నర్ శ్రీ అరి మొహమ్మద్ ఖాన్జీ, విదేశ కార్య పార్లమెంటరీ కార్య సహాయ మంత్రి శ్రీ వి మురళీధరన్ జీ, నియమ సభాంగం శ్రీ రాజగోపాలన్ జీ, భారతీయ విచార కేంద్రం జాయింట్ டைரக்டர் శ్రీ ఆర్ సంజయన్ జీ, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും എൻ്റെ നമസ്കാരം. Friends, I am not comfortable with this closed weather and also this too much AC. One lesson we have to learn from COVID is to live as much as possible with the nature, with the sun, with the light and normal air. That is the lesson one has to learn from this and try to be open. And I personally feel, and I suggest to the countrymen and also planners and architects to keep this in mind and see that enough light, enough air circulation is there so that we will have better health conditions. That's my advice. Of course, that is not connected with this memorial lecture today, but that's a general observation. My dear sisters and brothers, I am indeed honored to be here amidst you to deliver the first P. Parameswaran Ji Memorial Lecture. Sri Parameswaran Ji is a role model for many. Was a multifaceted personality. He was a great writer, orator, a poet and social philosopher who worked throughout his life relentlessly to carry forward his nationalistic mission which he had taken as his life mission. With all passion, he tried to fulfill his mission. Through his writings, speeches and other intellectual activities, Sri Parameswaran Ji changed the tone and tenor of intellectual discourse in Kerala. It is the greatest contribution made by Sri Parameswaran Ji. He expounded the thoughts of and teachings of Swami Vivekananda, Sri Aurobindo, Sri Narayana Guru and Pandit Deendayal Upadhyaya among the youth and people of this state. He was instrumental in reviving the forgotten tradition of observing Ramayana month, July-August in Kerala, which was currently became a popular festival. Sri Parameswaran Ji is undoubtedly one of the outstanding figures of Kerala, a state that has rich legacy of great intellectuals who brought about cultural awakening and spiritual regeneration. In 8th century, Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya integrated diverse thoughts and practices through his philosophy of Advaita Vedanta. The Gita, which was lying dormant in our intellectual tradition, was recovered by Sri Shankaracharya, who gave it back to us with his brilliant narrative of Advaita. This Advaita was not a new school, but was churned out of Upanishads. Later, Acharyas like Ramanuja, Madhva, and also played a role of great social reformers. The sage Vidyaranya, connected with Sringeri Mutt, greatly influenced the founders of Vijayanagara Empire. Harihara and Bukkaraya, those rulers. Of late, Swami Rangadananda Ji of Sri Ramakrishna Mutt, Swami Chinmayananda of Chinmaya Mission, acted as ambassadors of India's spiritualism and cultural tradition. Mata Amrutanandamayi moves in the same path. In modern times in Kerala, the Advaita was made an inspiration both in intellectual and social reformation strata by Sri Narayana Guru. In both his teachings and literary works, Guru made Advaita the power of narration and inspiration. But for Sri Narayana Guru, Kerala would have drowned in the darkness of social and intellectual decline. Sri Parameswaranji, in his book titled Sri Narayana Guru, the prophet of Renaissance, puts the life and teachings of Narayana Guru in the right perspective. This book highlights Guru as a torchbearer of a peaceful social transformation in modern times, a legacy which can be linked with our ancient rishis. It is because of the strong background of this intellectual tradition, India remains as an eternal nation or civilizational entity, in spite of the vicissitudes it had to face through ages of foreign invasion. My dear sisters and brothers, India's intellectual tradition in cultural and civilizational context survived over 5,000 years. This intellectual tradition was interwoven with India's social texture and helped to sustain India's fundamental unity despite its diversities. In 2003, the UNESCO proclaimed the Vedic tradition as a masterpiece of oral and intangible heritage of humanity. Scholars like Professor A.L. Bhasham observed that religious and cultural life of India and much of Asia has been deeply influenced by the two great Sanskrit epics or Itihasa, the Mahabharata and Ramayana. They are not simple religious texts, which they form the fountainhead of Hindu thought and philosophy. I always say Hindu is a way of life. This intellectual tradition of India that rose in the valleys of Ganga, Saraswati, Kaveri, Krishna, Godavari, cherished and flourished over the past 5 millennia. It flowered through many schools of Upanishads as well as Buddhism and Jainism later. We owe a lot to our Vedic rishis for our culture and knowledge tradition. These rishis, seers and sages, were not mere jnanis, but they acted as also great reformers, we can call as karma yogis. They applied their knowledge and spiritual experience for the benefit of society. They envisaged an orderly, collective human life which ensures the welfare of all, sarva bhuta hitam, welfare of all. They put forward the concept of dharma, a rule of behavior based on values which have a spiritual content. Parameswaranji popularized Gita as a comprehensive life science which can provide a solution to the social problems in Kerala and the rest of India. For this purpose, he initiated many seminars, symposiums, discussions, and started panchayat-level Swadhyaya Samitis. He wanted to combine Sanskrit, yoga, and Gita studies, for which he coined the new term Samayogi. In this connection, an international seminar was also organized in Thiruvananthapuram in 2000, in which 1,500 scholars, youths and saints from all over India participated. Parameswaranji organized so many seminars in Kerala to discuss the developmental issues and other socio-cultural problems facing Kerala. Parameswaranji was a great institution builder. He was an institution himself. He was the director of Deen Dayal Research Institute at New Delhi during 77 to 81. He established Bharatiya Vichara Kendram at Thiruvananthapuram in 82 and developed it into a leading study and research center in Kerala. He became the vice president of Vivekananda Kendra, Kanyakumari in 1984 and became its president in 1995 and held that post up to his last days. He gave a new dimension to the development of all these institutions and ably guided the workers and other personnel connected with them. Parameswaranji has published hundreds of articles and authored about 25 or more books. He was awarded Kerala Sahitya Academy Award for his book titled Disha Bhutanante Darsanam. He was the editor of journals Manthan and Pragati. He was also editor of the monthly Yuva Bharati and quarterly Vivekananda Kendra Patrika of Vivekananda Kendra. In recognition of his service to the nation, he was honored with Padma Shri in 2004 and Padma Vibhushan in 2018, besides so many national and international awards. Parameswaranji initiated so many young people to the field of writing and research. He was the state organizing secretary of the party, Jana Sangh at that time, but later he left politics. After he was imprisoned during emergency also, Parameswaranji lived a simple, disciplined, saintly life throughout his public career, which extended to 70 years. Even though a visionary, a statesman, an intellectual giant, he was affable and accessible to one and all. He was a tapasvi and humanist par excellence. His life inspires us to keep the nation above everything, nation first. Party or profession next, self last. Unfortunately, now some people are moving in the reverse direction. Everyone should think in these lines. Nation first. Nation means not the geographical boundaries of this country. Irrespective of caste, creed, sex, religion and region, all the people living in this nation, they're all Indians. And we must think about their welfare. And we must work for the upliftment of those people. That should be the motto of everybody. We should draw that inspiration from the life and teachings and preachings of Parameswaranji. That will be a great tribute to him. Organizing seminars, symposium, talk, discussion, these are all to inspire the new generation. But the real tribute will be following the ideals, following the values, following the simplicity, the honesty and integrity he has maintained throughout his life. And that's why I call him as a role model. I call upon the present generation to follow the path shown by Parameswaranji and strive to build a stronger, happier and prosperous India. An India that is free from social evils. There should not be any discrimination on the basis of caste. There should not be any discrimination on the basis of gender. There should not be any discrimination on the basis of religion. There should not be any discrimination on the basis of region or the language. All are equal. Every language has to be respected. Every tradition has to be respected. And all human beings must be treated. And we must all follow the age-old philosophy of India, share and care, which is the core of Indian philosophy. That is the lesson. Share and care. Sharing everything. Do you know what has happened to our society because of the decline of values? Once upon a time, India was known as Vishwa Guru. We had immense knowledge. And we had such a great tradition. That's why it's surviving. Thousands of years of civilization, which was given to us by our forefathers. It has to be maintained. Egypt, Roman, Greek, they are also world civilizations. But you compare them with our tradition, our culture and our heritage. Why it's surviving? Because of the basic philosophy. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu, vasudaika kutumbakam. The entire universe is one family. India with its great past, we never attacked any country, any time in the history. The other small countries came and attacked us, including us, ruled and ruined us, and ruined our thoughts also. Now it's time that we must get back to our roots, our thoughts, our ancient culture and tradition, and see to it that it flourishes. The younger generation must follow that path shown by our forefathers. Sri Parameswaranji's life, as I told you, teachings and preachings, They should be inspiration to the younger generation. We must read more and more his writings and propagate them and follow them in our personal life so that we can enrich ourselves and enrich the state and the country also. That should be the message he wanted to build in India, stronger, happier, and prosperous. What is required is not only wealth and health. What is required is happiness. Mere wealth alone will not get you happiness. You need something more. The spiritual, the philosophical, the cultural values, they had to be imbibed by everyone so that they can live in happiness. In the modern day, we are facing unnecessary tensions. If there is a tension, you cannot pay attention. So one has to get rid of these tensions, spiritual thinking, following the path shown by our rishis and also great saintly persons like Parameswaranji. That is the need of the hour. The India must take pride in its rich cultural and spiritual heritage and see to it that it is taken in its true spirit and implemented by one and all. My dear friends, I am very happy to participate in this memorial lecture. When the organizers wrote to me, I have readily agreed because first memorial lecture, being Vice President of India, as an individual, I always used to admire Parameswaranji because of his simplicity, because of his intellectual richness, and also the way he used to serve the people. That has really influenced my thoughts. That's why when they told me this is the first memorial lecture, I have readily agreed and came today. Sorry for the inconvenience caused to you because I asked them to switch off AC. I again repeat, the time has come. We must try to be with the nature. Nature, culture, together for better future. One has to understand this message and then try to have as much light as possible. Because what has happened over the years is this closed. Everything is closed, including minds also. I say it in a lighter vein. Car, closed. Office rooms, closed. Theater, closed. Restaurant, closed. Not otherwise closed. Closed from all sides. And then hotel you go, closed. And then come back to bedroom also closed from all sides. No light at all. Nature has been very kind to Indians. We have so much sunlight. We are getting deprived of it. We should go back to our roots of way of living. I was telling Governor and sharing my experience. I go around the country. 98% of the rural people did not get this pandemic because they live with nature. People who work hard, disciplined, they are not affected, including agricultural laborers and all. So we must draw lessons and develop physical fitness. Physically fit, then you will be mentally alert. Physical fitness. And we must revisit the habits, including food habits also. I have made it a mission to tell everybody that follow the traditional food, healthy food. Don't go for junk food. Because we are having a memorial lecture, the way he lived a simple life. Parameswaranji. A healthy, physical as well as spiritual and mental. That should really inspire us, and all the youngsters should follow the ideas of such great people. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.